I'm going to do a series of videos when I can, just kind of off the cuff, talking about my industry, because there's not a lot of places to go, especially if you're not in that world yet, of any kind of metal world, of figuring out exactly how to become a blacksmith, or even just to be creative, which I'm still like working to succeed in doing that. I mean, I have a long history as a blacksmith, but I'm still working towards success on my own in doing it. So I think it's valuable to have perspective, to have people talk about exactly what they've gone through, what it took, the challenges they face, things like that, because I had a few very key, valuable people to give me that, to point me in the right direction. Sometimes too late, but sometimes when I needed it. So I'm going to be posting stuff like that every now and then, just in a little side tab of my YouTube channel. Today, the main thing I want to talk about is where I started first, and that is, how the hell do you become a blacksmith? And nowadays, and a little bit after I started, it was more accessible, but YouTube is so accessible. Yeah, you can get a lot of how to be able to buy some things and do it on your own. But I'm going to be honest, I'm old school, and I hope that doesn't get held against me as being biased, but you got to find somebody who knows what they're doing, because apprenticeship is the closest thing to learning that you can get. It's real scenario, it's real deal. So finding a group, a person, even if it's a farrier, a guy who does horseshoes, those blacksmiths are incredibly talented, incredibly fast. If you are a good farrier and you have some creativity in your head, you'd make an amazing sculptural blacksmith. So that's what I would suggest. Find an old farms, old barns. Check out the internet. See if your area has a blacksmith get together. They call them hammer-ins sometimes, where a bunch of blacksmiths will get together and just talk tools, make something, geek out, whatever. So I really suggest finding someplace you can go in person and have somebody physically show you, hey, this is how you light a coal forge. This is how you pack the stuff. This is how you control the air. I would say that is my first and most important piece of advice. Yes, you can absolutely buy a few things and learn from YouTube on your own and be pretty damn good, but I'm going to be honest, most of us who are very good at what we do and have been doing it for a long time knows an hour of somebody's in-person time is way more valuable than 40 hours of YouTube footage. It just is. To be able to physically do it yourself and replicate with that person there what you're trying to learn, it's just a faster learning. It also helps you to steer clear. You can't interact with a YouTube video. You can't have this conversation with me. You're just listening to me right now. While obviously when you're with somebody, you can interact. If something's going wrong, if something feels weird, when I've been teaching other people, I see them click. It's my favorite moment in teaching, when you literally see the light bulb moment. They see, okay, this isn't working. What am I doing wrong? And then you talk it out. You look for whatever bad habit or whatever it is they might be doing. You mention them to change one little thing, and all of a sudden they're phenomenal. They're instantly better than they were 30 seconds ago. Those moments are priceless, and that's what you get with a live person. I think that's super valuable. I think that goes a long way. I would say after that, you want to try and work in the metal industry. If you can get a job doing fabrication, that adds to your skill set. You're going to learn how to weld better. You're going to learn how to put things together. You're going to learn proper measurements. You're going to learn some math that is specifically tailored towards making things, which is what you do. So to me, that's super valuable, to be able to not just gain the basic skills, but gain more advanced skills. The problem with fabrication is it's an extremely tough job. Nowadays, there's extremely low-end companies making big money. So you could work in a fab shop, learn how to weld, and not learn anything else, and make $18 an hour for a decade. I mean, that's how it is now. New York and New Jersey, where I'm from, it was a little more competitive. because prices were up and people could command more. But down here in the Southwest, like, first of all, you have a lot of immigrants that are getting taken advantage of and making, you know, $7-8 an hour because they're willing to do that, which is just taking advantage of them. And unfortunately, a lot of times out here in the West, you're going to be entering that kind of environment. So it's hard to be financially competitive in that kind of environment. So be wary, don't get taken advantage of. If you're learning every day, and I mean it, every single day, then it's worth taking a pay hit in the beginning of your blacksmithing career. It's okay to not make a lot of money in the beginning. Especially, I mean, apprenticing, generally it's a part-time thing, but if you're working hand in hand with someone for a full-time job, it's worth it to take a pay hit. Obviously, you know, you should command what you earn, what you think you should earn, but the bottom line is, in the beginning, if you're getting valuable skills and you have none, you're very new, take the pay hit, learn every day, soak it up, and move on to something better if you can't command more pay out of it. I always look at a union model for what non-union guys should do. And I'm very much pro-union, by the way. Unfortunately, you can't really join a union for creative blacksmiths. It doesn't really exist. So, look at the union model when it comes time to being an employee and making money, but understand that most of this country doesn't play by that rule. And it's going to be very tough to make money doing it. So be prepared to be a little broke while you're learning. So try and learn from somebody one-on-one, in person. If you got to travel an hour, I traveled an hour and a half down in South Jersey to learn with some dude in a barn. That was the nearest place I could find, and you know what? I only was there for a couple months, but it was extremely valuable knowledge, extremely valuable. It allowed me to get my foot in the door with a couple other companies, and that just elevated me pretty drastically from there. So yeah, work with someone one-on-one, and then secondly, try and get a job where your money depends on it in fabrication. If you can't actually find a forge that does creative stuff, try and fabricate, and you're going to get better at it. You're going to learn your own skills. You're also, if you're in a good shop, you might have access to do your own work on the weekends here or there. So you can, all the stuff you learn on YouTube, making your own forge, how to use a forge, all this other stuff, you can take there and use on your free time and bang it out and use their equipment and use their shop. And that's obviously if you're in a good shop. You know, a shop owner owns a shop. If he says no, it means no. There's nothing wrong with somebody not allowing you to do that. But it helps greatly if you're in a place where people will encourage you to hone your skills and get better on your own time as well. Just make sure if you're doing work for somebody else on your own time, you're getting paid for it. I fell into that trap too. I was always the guy who was a little too nice. And even now, it's hard for me to sometimes ask for money when I think something's kind of below me to do, but I realize, well, I gotta get paid too, you know. So that was my long ass ramble, and the start of hopefully a lot of other little tidbits of advice and stuff I'm gonna give you guys. Until next time.